Well, hello everyone again. Techo Baz back again with this Kriesler. Whether it be part 2 or we might get to part 100 on this one, I think. Now, initially, we're going to remove the speaker, have a bit of a look at him and see whether we can recone, but probably have to replace this. So, we'll have a look and see how we go with him. Oh dear. So, I don't know whether we're going to be able to do much with this speaker. Bit of a problem with the cone there. We've got a lot of rust inside the speaker there. The spider's not real good. The support's not real good. Yeah, I don't know whether we're going to be able to do anything with the speaker. The masonite bent. It's had water ingress in the top there, I would say. I would say a new masonite mount. These fellas are still okay. I would say possibly unfortunately, we're going to have to go a new speaker on this, I think. I'm not into reconing speakers. Lots of people may be able to do this, although with that amount of corrosion and everything in there with the magnet, I'm just not sure how that'd be. I do have another speaker in around this size. I will have to have a look. Certainly the masonite replaced, probably a speaker, and we'll check the transformer out to see whether or not he's okay. Hopefully he is. So while we're having a look, we'll grab the meter. Now, what have we got here? So the red and blue wires, the green is just the green on this fella. How this is wired has been just taken back to a ground on the speaker, which I don't know whether that's factory or not, but anyway, we'll check our blue wire, which is that fella, and red. And there we are, 500 ohm. I think we're pretty good for this fella. So that's good. We at least we've got continuity. And I would say our transformer is going to make the grade. Okay, so that's what we've got to do with this fella. Starting off pretty good already. Case-wise, very nice case inside. Very dull on the outside, but I'm sure this will polish up okay. She's a bit been a bit sun damaged or water damaged or something on top. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a rub to see whether this is going to come up okay, and we'll at least know that, well, the case is probably the least amount of our troubles at the moment. This fellow on top, our little grill here, on lots of these is always fairly badly damaged, but this one seems pretty good. Just looking at how it's put in, appears to be actually just melted into place on the edges. Okay, we'll just give the top here a little bit of a scrub, and we'll see how this comes up. Now, initially, this is what I use, just a bit of Brasso. I get some Brasso on a makeup pad, and we will just give this little corner here a bit of a scrub to see how this is going to come up. I think it's going to be pretty damn good, actually. At least this will give me an idea of how the case is going to come up down the track. And yeah, that won't be a problem. That's going to come up quite nice. May need a little bit of waxing and so forth, or a little bit more cut back there, just to get it a bit nicer. But that's looking good. Okay, now on to the next tricky bit. Now on to this bit. Now, first of all, we'll get rid of a couple of cables here. Obviously, this was the aerial wire and probably the earth. The aerial wire is actually attached to a bit of coax that's been put in there. This is very odd. We'll get rid of that fella. Now, one thing we are going to do with this, not knowing what voltage has been put in it, is I'll check each valve filament and see whether we've got continuity with them. Get this out of here. Inside here looks pretty good. Underneath, that's what you've got underneath him. Is the 11-7. Which is not. It's a 31-2. Let's have a look. Have a look see here. Okie doke. Yes, we've certainly got our work cut out, haven't we? Now, our power lead, we might be in luck here. One goes to ground. The other one looks like it was a 0.01 cap. This fellow. And our other lead is actually, if we do a little bit of scratching there, it's a red lead, which would indicate the positive. I'd say there's a little choke there, and then it comes down here to what would be the on-off switch. So we might be lucky here. It looks like this may be the original 6-volt lead. We'll just take him out. Have a capacitor here that seems to have, which is this fella, the 01, seems to have hemorrhaged fairly badly. Not not good at all. It looks like he's shorted or something along those lines, which is a little bit of a worry as well. Maybe that had more voltage. I'll just bring the camera in there a little bit for you on this fella. That's not looking real good. Just get the camera there. Just a moment. Sorry for making you seasick with the camera. There he is. That looks like he's had the end blown out of him and been he's arced up and everything. Hopefully 240 hasn't gone into these. So as I said, that one lead goes to the ground, the other one comes to this fellow, which runs across here. This will be the on-off switch and power lead. We probably have to get a bit of a circuit happening here, a circuit diagram, and see where everything goes. Now, these green leads also goes down to the pilot light, which would be 6 volts, and his filament seems okay, which would indicate this hasn't had high voltage into it, so maybe everything is still intact. We have power that runs back to here, to this coil, and then goes in underneath here to our vibrator unit. So we appear to only have 3 wires running to the vibrator. We have ground, power in from there, and this one, which is power out, which comes over here. We better get a circuit on this one anyway, but he runs up here to these electrodes. Just not real sure where he goes there. I think he goes up the top to a choke. Maybe it's this choke. There appears to be a couple of chokes on this one. Let's get a circuit diagram and we'll go from there. We're back. I've thought of another little trick that I'll do here for a start. I have my power supply, which is just a low voltage power supply, which is that fella up there. He's set at the moment to 6 volts. I'm going to see if the vibrator works at all. So we'll go in here. That's our B plus that comes out. We'll go in without disconnecting very much here. We'll go in here. Look at this. We have 165 volts. And I don't know whether you can hear that over the rain here in the workshop, of course. It's raining every day. It is buzzing. We have 168 volts HT. We don't seem to have any other voltage. I mean, we do have an incredible 160 volts there. So our vibrator unit is working. Wow, this is a big plus. Okay, we'll grab a diagram. We'll come back and do a little bit further investigation of how far our HT is getting to in this machine. Before we go too far with him, we might almost get it half working. I've got the speaker plugged in, the transformer. I don't have any voltage on the primary of the transformer on either side. So could be an open circuit choke in amongst this one, or there's another one on top. So we'll do a little bit more investigation and check that out. But it's looking good so far. What we've got, I've lifted the electro cap. He's in a fairly bad state. He's losing his electrolyte out of the top there. Power comes in, goes, there's a green wire which comes up here, goes to the top of the chassis, which goes through a filter choke, comes back down right to here. Now, problem is, ohms on the meter to there, we've got an open circuit choke to start with. So that's why we don't have any B plus going any further. Now measuring the B plus out of the choke to ground, just in case we've had a short, doesn't appear to be a short. I don't think there's any problems there. Our meter's telling us there's not a lot of resistance to ground there. So, but between those fellas, we're open circuit. So I guess before we go any further, first thing is we'll take the choke out and check him and see what we can possibly do with him. Would like to put some HT on this to from the vibrator to see, can we sort of trace through our HT and get something sort of working to start with. Okay, I'll replace this fella and we'll take the choke out and have a look. Okie doke, we have removed the filter choke from in here. There's lots of rust and everything with this fella. So there's a fair bit of cleaning up and everything with this to go, but that's where he was. And if we have a look at the filter, I'll just something to sit under there at the moment. There we go. One filter choke. As you can see, I can probably only imagine what this is going to be like. Fairly rusty, but actually the winding up the top there looks, just what we can see there, looks okay. So we'll investigate this fellow a little bit further. That's what we've got. And as you can see by the bottom there, we may just have rust in here, a broken wire. Looks like someone has actually done a bit of work on this beforehand. So yeah, but we'll have to resurrect this fellow and get some rust off him. All right, have a further investigation on this one now. Okay, we're going to try this bit of a setup here. Now, what I've done here, unfortunately, our speaker's not real good, so I've disconnected the voice coil, gone onto the output transformer, just with our extension speaker over there, plugged him in. Now, I do have 6 volts. Well, we'll have in a minute. 6 volts going to the radio. It is turned on. Here I'm monitoring the high tension current from the vibrator to the B plus of the radio. Here I've also measuring the voltage. So we're going to see, is this going to make any noise, anything at all? It'd be unbelievable if it does make any noise at all. Anyway, here we go. We will monitor the voltage up here on our output transformer and see, can we get anything to fire up? I'm plugging 6 volts in now. Yes, we have voltage. I cannot hear anything, but we do have voltage. Not a lot of current there, 7 milliamps. Probably wouldn't be a lot more than that to, because this B plus 150, 151, so nothing on here yet. Thought we might have got something out of him, but so far, nothing happening. Just make sure our speaker connections are right. The poor old capacitors. There's an old pink one in here. Do we have HT? Yes, we've got 150 volts happening. Everything is cool so far. Don't have much happening at the moment. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? We're going so well. We have absolutely no audio at all. Yeah, no audio. Well, that's a little bit of a shame, but we'll have a look at our circuit here and just see what voltages and everything. We might have to do a valve test here as well. Okay, so what I've found so far is we have very, 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 or almost no audio, very low sound. Now, there's a capacitor up the back here, which is your grid supply to your output tube, which is a 1L5. We've downloaded some data on him, and that's what he is. I found out that he's fairly leaky. He's got 135 volts on the plate of the tube before him, and he's got 30 volts on the other side. Measure it with a meter, it measures 2 meg, which is one of the leakiest caps we've seen for a while. So I'll get in here, change that little fella, and then we'll do another test for any audio. I don't want to damage the output tube, which may have already been done. We don't know. But anyway, we'll try that and get back. Okay, guys. Well, we've come to a little bit of a standstill on this one. 1M5. We have the 2IF valves. They're open circuit filament. So somewhere along the line, may have had a spike, may have just vibration or something, but of course these are in a chain, and one goes out, they all go out. I have 2 out. The 1K7 and the 1L6 is both okay, but these 2 are out, and this fellow up here, the RF amp, I'll show you that fellow, he looks like he's been modified. There we go. It's got a 6AN7 in it, so I don't know whether that's a factory job or that's been refitted with another valve base or what's happened there. But anyway, until I round up a couple of 1M5s, I'm a little bit stuck. So the next port of call, I think, will be to get into this, strip it down, start cleaning it up a little bit. Underneath, I haven't done too much, really. I replaced the cap that was leaky just to see, was it just temporarily, was it going to cause the problems, but only to find out, well, the filament wasn't lighting because the string was broken. So There it is for the moment. Give you a little bit nicer picture. It's a horrible looking thing. There's lots of rust and stuff like this that's got to be done on him yet. And over this side, lots of rust up around the back area there where those valve sockets are. Then they actually took a fair bit of getting out. They were the valve cans were rusted to the chassis. So yeah, okay. Until we get a couple of valves, I'll be removing the front tuning gang. Might take the IFs out and start cleaning up the chassis. There'll be little updates. I'll give you updates as I go along. Probably take out the vibrator module and just clean the points. I think there's capacitors across the points, so I would certainly replace those. Otherwise, you get a little bit of arcing with them and they cause problems then. So I want this unit running the best it can. So we'll probably do a separate video on this. And until then, we'll leave this video and we'll catch you very soon with continuation. Yeah, okay. We'll catch us later. Bye.